go over here.
Filed a complaint several months ago, haven't been contacted, haven't heard anything else about it, no idea where it stands, so.
Is that why you're here?
Two parts, that, well, that and the situation, I complained about the police officer conduct in the situation.
In that
and-
one that you're
Yeah,
talking
and
about.
that's the complaint part, but then
Right.
there's the situation we still have to deal with, and the criminal behavior there, and I'm trying to get, well, here's where I'm at today. I was talking to the prosecutor this morning, the city prosecutor. One of your officers told me I needed to do that, insisted I do that, okay? They told me they won't even listen to me, they won't hear anything from me, they won't look at a video, they won't communicate with me in any fashion or identify themselves. I have to talk to a police officer. The police were telling me I have to talk to the prosecutor. One of the two of you is wrong, at least.
Okay.
Crimes have been committed against me. I've documented these crimes. Available now, part of public information. Anybody can see these crimes and put them on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. Why is there being no effort to enforce the law, enforce the penal code violations that were committed against me? Even though I brought it to your all's attention, I'm not sure whose attention, but I've complained. I've talked to 20 different police officers in 10 different incidents. I don't know what's being done, but
Okay. So in regards to the complaint that you were talking about in October, right?
Yeah,
All right.
some-
Is that the
sometime
one?
ago.
Is that the incident that happened at?
well, that's a complaint about the officer's handling of one of the mini series of incidents.
Right.
Harris.
But
Yeah.
you that was one of your questions. Where is that?
Yes,
Correct.
yeah.
All right. So I talked to our personnel division. It has been investigated. It's going out for review, meaning that once all the documents are obtained, our staff takes a look at it and then comes up
All
with
the
a judgment.
documents were obtained. So would they be interested in video of her behavior that day? Like,
Well,
I have.
I can't tell you if they're going to be interested in that behavior that day. That could be something that you can contact the personnel division and ask.
So I got to contact them directly. Okay.
Okay.
Before I leave,
So-
I'll get that contact.
Okay, so anyways, that is out for review. All right.
Be a
Now-
while then.
What's that?
It'll be a while then.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a while. When it's out for review, that means that all the documents that have been obtained, all the paperwork that's been taken, that is all put together, and then a staff reviews it and then comes up with a conclusion. So that's being done right now, out for review.
All right. Yeah, I
Okay.
just want to make sure everything got included in that because people just they don't seem they won't acknowledge the situation. They'll admit I have the video. The plaintiff witness is always denied that there's video. I don't want a situation to come up where they say, "Oh, well, we never saw anything. No one showed it to us,"
Sure.
and I will be glad to show it to them.
Sure.
So,
I mean, and I can't comment on that because I don't know.
Okay, well,
I
I'll
mean, if you have
contact them.
that,
That's why I'm asking about the process.
Sure.
I don't know where I had. It's been, like you said, October. I
Sure.
haven't heard from that in a while.
Sure.
5 months, jeez. Okay. Now, the situation at hand. Plaintiff Fitness has committed multiple criminal actions against me and continues to do so according to the law each and
And what
every
are
day.
those? So I know.
Penal Code 365.5 is the relevant California Penal Code that concerns you. And then I have documented
Okay, but I
evidence.
don't know what that is. So you're gonna explain
What
that.
it is limiting access to the facilities for someone with a service dog.
All right.
And there's a list of a long body of documentation which I could provide you if you
No,
want.
I don't need that. I know
Oh,
exactly what that is.
Okay, yeah.
All right, but from what I understand, okay, is that your dog is not deemed a service dog
How do you understand this?
because I was told through a person that was there that your dog is not deemed a service dog.
Who told you that?
It doesn't matter who told me that.
It
I'm
very
telling you.
matters much. See, the person that made that statement, if they're in law enforcement, making that statement is
What is a
crime.
service dog?
A service dog is a dog that's been trained to perform a function and assist in with a mental or physical disability.
Okay, and what does that dog help you do?
Interruption of self-mutilation, something your department and me are very familiar with.
He stops you from doing what now?
Interruption of self-mutilation is the title of the function of the dog, and it's a main function
has
listed
he been-
clearly in the ADA. It cannot be questioned. It's not up to you. You're not allowed to question that.
Isn't someone supposed to deem the dog that?
I deemed the dog that.
Well, you're
It's
not.
mine.
You can't deem the dog that.
So what you're saying is I need some sort of authorization from what?
From somebody other than yourself. that it's
Somebody
a-
other than myself, like who? So you're saying,
I don't know. It's
well,
not-
I have a copy of the ADA law that conflicts with what you're saying on me right now. Would you like to read it and see that?
I mean, is that the second part? What you're looking for is?
Well, there's more to it than that. There's
Okay.
one. My first service dog that your department took from me was registered with the state. I do badge number S00422. Sam, the service dog registered to Colton Wood. Your officers did take that dog from me
Sure.
illegally. That's
Okay.
all. That's one dog. The second dog, I didn't bother registering the volunteer registration program, but federal law is clear.
Okay, what'd you
It
say?
is
Do not register. I'm
with
sorry.
the
What's
with
it
Los
called?
Angeles County's voluntary registration program. I hadn't.
What is that program? Because I'm unaware of it.
Animal control.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You go
do
apply
they deem the dog being a service dog?
No,
itself?
they acknowledge. I make them aware. I make a statement to them, and they record that I've told them.
And
They are
the
not
reason
allowed
for the
to
dog
debate.
is so you don't self-mutilate yourself.
Yes, and
But isn't there been... Okay, go ahead.
Well, no,
Sorry.
what? Go.
No, go
You've
ahead.
got a concern?
No, no.
This is the time.
If I come back to it.
You see, this conversation we're having shouldn't even be taking place. 2 years ago, in 2013, a dramatic event happened with me and my service dog here in Torrance. For any officer of the Torrance Police Department to say what you're saying right now, to have this type of response, to say that my dog doesn't meet the requirements, my dog is not a service dog, if that for that to come out of your mouth means that malice has taken place at some point. You all were made aware, and you have chosen to disregard the law. You know that is not true, and you know you're.
Well, that's a matter of an opinion, but okay.
It's not an opinion in this
Well,
case.
it is an opinion.
Telling
It's
me
my
my dog is not a service dog is a crime. Okay, you
Disagree?
can't do that. You disagree. Well, of course, you're the perpetrator of the crime. You're not going to just admit to it. Okay. Yeah. That brings a very important question. What would it take for your department to acknowledge my service dog? I want another one. Now, what are your demands? What do I need to give you? Make your demands. What do I? No, the law says I, as an American citizen, don't need to show you anything to have a service dog.
Right.
But you're saying I need to show you something. So you're going to have to explain to me what I need to show you.
Well, what I was telling you was I don't believe that you can make yourself a service dog.
You don't believe that I can. Okay, so you're just throwing out self-training the majority of all service
No, it's
dogs.
just something that I know right now. It's something I'm going to obviously have to research. But
Well,
from what I
please do. I mean, in 2 years, tearing my family apart twice, and that's too. You can't get around the read. It's not that many pages, by the way. If you read the complete 88 law, it should have taken you 3 or 4 times longer we've been standing here. Every word of it, the whole federal, every word of it. Yeah, and your understanding, comprehend. I read things and understand them very quickly. It might take you a couple hours study, but you could get one of your staff, one of the attorneys or something here, the prosecutor, like another watch commander was telling me that the prosecutor was telling him my dog didn't rise to the level of a service dog.
Okay, I'm sorry. One of my officers
A different watch commander, so
told you.
an equal of yours.
Okay,
That
told
the
you.
city prosecutor had
City-
told him that my dog did not rise to the standards of a service dog.
Okay, well then I think you have your answer, right?
Well, no, he denies he ever said that. And when I went to get video, he didn't. I say he said it. He says he didn't say that. So, but you saying he said it? Like,
No, I'm just confirming what you just told me.
Yeah, he said that to me to antagonize me, and
Alright.
then.
Well, we're not trying to antagonize you. I'm trying to get an answer for you. So
Okay.
number one, your question.
Well, yeah.
in
So
regards to-
I have the physical. I got an ADA law. I could show you here the
Well,
documentation.
it's nothing that you have to show
Yeah.
me. All I got to do is go back down and try to go ahead and research it, and I can get back to you.
Okay, we'll do that. But I've been through this process, been in here many times.
Sure.
It's been years. I need something to do different. Like your argument with this, you're saying
no
my
arg-
dog is not a service dog.
Look,
That's
there's no argument
wood,
here.
by the way, no S.
I'm sorry?
Wood, no S.
Wood.
Yeah.
There's no argument here. All right. Your first question was what's going on with your complaint.
Okay,
All right?
yeah,
I'm
that-
telling you what's going on with the complaint. So for review.
And
Your
then how
second
the-
complaint. Your second complaint is in regards to your service dog.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. I'm not completely up to snuff in regards to what happens, but from what I know.
What does it take to get you there?
Well, I got to do some research. I'm sure you did a lot of research in regards to.
That's true.
Okay, so when
That's
you
why
come
I
in
know
here-
exactly how many pages.
Okay,
Now it's
well-
not too. I read it, but it's
Okay,
not all
from-
that long. And I studied law in school, and I owe the government a large sum of money
Okay.
for my education.
So in
concerning
regards
these
to
rights I
that,
don't have.
right? There's a lot of laws in California.
But you're a professional,
Right.
and that's
Absolutely.
your job. So knowing Penal Code 365.5 should, now that I brought it to your attention,
Are you a law? Or do you know a lot about the law? Can I throw out any kind of penal code and you know it by heart?
I would look it up.
Well, bingo. That's what I'm asking for.
Please,
let
take
me
it.
look it up.
Okay, I'll wait a few minutes. I got it.
It's going to be a while before I research it because I'm going to go research it. I'm going to contact with my city prosecutor. If you'd like.
Which is another thing is that I need to contact the city prosecutor. Even the police aren't involved. The prosecutor, they have attorneys. They will know more what I'm talking about, the executive branch here.
Maybe.
So let's talk to, can you, right now, let's go talk to the prosecutor and have them investigate,
Well-
look at my video, and have someone with legal expertise and training evaluate the circumstances.
Well, that's where our personnel department does that.
So I got to get the police caught up and educated with the legal education for them to bring things to the matters of the people that already know about legal stuff.
Well, I think there's a certain way that you believe that the police department should do their job, but that's not necessarily the right way.
Well, maybe I don't know how the police department should do their job. That's true, but I do know the law, and the police department is supposed to enforce the law, and that's been violated repeatedly. And you all are just making light of this, but do you understand that you tore my family apart because your ignorance and incompetence, because you didn't know how to do your job?
Well,
I lost the most important part of my life. Y'all took me from my mother at birth. I never had family. I never had bonded with any. I never had any important interconnection. I didn't realize that when I started. I sort of dug myself a fucking grave here, but it turns out it made my heart bleed,
well,
and it's
I'm
a
sorry
problem,
that
and it
happened
won't
to
go
you.
away. I'm screwed. Maybe I started all this, and I got myself in over my head. Some poor piece of shit that thinks he has the rights of a normal human being. I may have made a mistake there. I'll admit that. But the law says I'm in the right, and I'm stuck in it now, and I can't get it out of my head. So I am going to have to attempt to make you all deal with this. And I think you all should do the research, take less than 2 years, and go after the actual criminals in the situation. People are doing illegal things. These businesses, they also have an obligation to know this law I'm talking about. When they get a business license from the state, from the city, whatever, they are agreeing to abide by these ordinances and laws. Their failure to train their employees, and this is most likely a situation where it's written in the book, it's all there, they signed, I read this and I understand it, and they really forgot, didn't read it, or whatever. Who knows? But they made a mistake. I'm the victim. I'm some poor retard with little money and little resources just trying to survive. So to put all this burden on me, to have to educate the police and get the prosecutor involved, you guys should be the first responder. I should be able to be so retarded, which I will be here in a few years, that I can't speak right and call 911 like, they're bothering me, please come help. And on days with bad concussions, I get a little, my articulation is going to fade. If I don't pave a wave now and make myself a home now, 10 years, we're going to be discussing this in a different way. I'm going to fade. I'm already fading rapidly. So I have to win somewhere. And it just so happens, these are multinational corporations, 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, cover the whole country. So I can't leave or escape. I moved to Colorado like y'all want me to do. Still these same businesses, and these events happened here. And then it will be a civil matter, and I have to sue them, and have to involve the courts, blah, blah, blah. But here in your territory, crimes were committed against me, and you can take petty misdemeanor action to correct the course of events without me engaging a federal lawsuit against a multi-million-dollar corporation. That's the idea of the law, to protect a little guy like me. I don't know why you guys are so hesitant to do it, because it's just revenue income too. These violations are finable and numerous. You guys could write checks to yourself, and they will pay. You guys find me all the time. Sorry, I owe you. They would have to pay or quit doing business. You find UFC, they're going to pay you your $2,500, and they're going to correct their behavior and not waste your officers' time anymore.
Right. Okay. Well, like I said, do you have a phone number that I can get back
Yes,
to?
I do.
What's your phone number?
Phone number is 424
Okay.
240
240
1649.
1649. All right, Mr. Wood, appreciate your time. I'll do a little
See,
bit of
I'm
research.
planning on getting a new service dog soon, just because I can't. I need the help. And the only reason I have it in 6 months is the fight. And people have been asking me, but people just keep coming up to me. Well, I'm going to. And fortunately, Planet Fitness, the company I'm here finding about it, is split. And I'm still with that company, just at a far different location. They have my back, and they acknowledge I have the right service dog. And any of the places I've been that have proper, I go into Food for Less. Their legal department's got their staff trained properly, and they acknowledge everything. I talked to a lawyer, and while I can't afford to retain them, they acknowledge I've got it right. Everyone says I've got it right that knows anything. And the people that say I have it wrong, like Planet Fitness, their response is, this is a private business. We don't have to let you in here. Your dog's nasty. Ew, there's just no counterbalance to my argument. The full weight of the law is on my side. Ignorance and prejudice, which is another reason for the law, and in fact this brings up hate crimes and stuff. People have prejudice against dogs. It's based in ignorance, and the law is supposed to prevent them from behaving a certain way. And if it should come down that I've been treated oddly because someone didn't like my dog, or because they don't like retards. You know, you've seen the videos of me being 5150 by your officers, right? That's a whole different.
You know what? I can't tell you what officers saw you or not. To be honest with you, this is the first time I ever met you. So, I mean, I've heard
heard of
of you, but I've never met you before.
Okay,
So,
I assume you've been briefed. This has been years long.
Well, no, I mean, when you came up here, I don't need to talk to 15 officers to find out who you are.
Well, I assumed you'd already, other officers have told me, like Sergeant Carol Wilkes told me that you guys had a task force specifically compiled here to deal with me and had staff meetings and training and, oh, well, you know, I'm talking, that's, well, I'll talk to her about complaint. And the phone number or whatever, contact, no, for me to contact the people, human resources for that complaint.
Oh,
you said I need
it's our personnel division.
Personnel division.
Yeah, just ask to talk to someone at the personnel division.
I can just call here and ask for, okay.
Okay.
I'll do that next business day.
All right, thank you.
Sorry to be such a bug, man, but if you only knew how much my life was better with that little dog. Not asking for much.